Hello, Scrappy friends. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the second video in our Keeping It Simple Christmas edition. So if you missed the first video where I explained all about the idea of using this book to create 3 simple Christmas layouts, and I'm going to link that right up here for you. So go take a look at that video first and then come back to this video and watch number 2, because I'm going to get right into it today. I'm going to jump right over here to page 96 and 97, and it's this layout right here in this project recipe. And don't worry if you don't have the book and you still want a printout of this project recipe, you can head over to my blog at my website right here, and you can print off a free PDF of the project recipe that matches the one we're using today. Their only slight difference is here in the book, they used Out of This World collection. And over on the blog, you'll notice that they use the Boho Escape collection. That's the only difference. The layout is exactly the same otherwise. And today, I'm going to use Christmas Charm, so you'll get to see all 3 different versions. So here you'll see that they use 2 pieces of pattern paper for the background. Now, I love doing that because putting the pattern paper just really adds some pop of color to your layout. And that's one thing that these project recipes might need, is that little pop of color. But you can always do it right into your album, or you can also do it on a piece of colored cardstock or even white cardstock. So that part's, it's not mandatory, but it does help it pop out a little bit. So we need 2 pieces of pattern paper, and then let's look at the papers that we're gonna cut. So just like in the first video, we need 2 additional pieces of pattern paper for the cutting. And you'll see that pattern paper number 2, they cut into 2 5.5-inch strips, and those go right here. So for my paper saving people out there, this is a 5.5-inch strip going from top to bottom, and then we're laying it on top of this background piece, but you can trim the background piece and weld those together. Okay, just wanted to mention that. With designer paper number 1, we're going to do a punch out and then trim it down, and we're going to do 2 of those, one for the top right here and one for the bottom of this area. And then the other piece will be cut in half and flipped over to use the other side. So you want to make sure that you pick a piece of paper that you like both sides. If not, maybe you want to have a 3rd piece on hand, because this piece will come right in here and flip over, so we'll see the reverse side of the punch out paper. Then back to designer paper number 2, there's going to be a little strip left over here, and we are going to take that, cut it in half, and again flip it upside down and put the reverse side right here. So again, we want to make sure we like both sides of these 2 pattern papers, or bring in some scraps. Let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm using Christmas Charm as my paper today, and I'm going to go a little bit wild, and I'm going to pick this beautiful plaid as the background for my layout. For the punch out and the reverse side, I'm going to use this plaid and this beautiful holly paper. I love that paper. And for the strip, the 5.5-inch strips that we're going to put down the center, I'm going to use this green paper. And the only thing I am not too sure about is the back side for those little strips that go right down here. I think it's just going to be way too much to use this, so I will have to bring in another scrap from somewhere else. We're going to punch and then cut, and then punch and then cut again. Okay, now they recommend using a border punch, and in fact this one is a frame punch. That's geometric frame, but I'm going to do something a little bit different because I want to bring in this ribbon and bow border punch. I think this is going to be perfect for this layout because I just got this punch and I want to get a little more use out of it. This would be a great replacement. It's going to go up here at the top and down here. It's a little thinner than the geometric frame punch, so I'll have a little bit of paper left over when I'm finished. Okay, let's go ahead and punch. And I'm going to punch out 2 rows of this, one for each side of the layout. So I'm done punching out the ribbon and bows border punch that I need. Now I need to cut the paper. I'm gonna bring the book back in here because this is the portion I'm cutting right here. So it needs to be 8.5 inches by 6 inches. The 8.5 inches will be going horizontally, and then the 6 inches will be going vertically when I cut. So I'm gonna have a little bit extra paper here only because my punch was a little on the thinner side. So I'm going to measure this at 8.5 over here and then clean this up. So that's the only one. I'm not even gonna keep that. And then I'm going to turn this and cut it at 6 inches. And this is what we'll be using the back side of. Okay, that's paper number 1. Let me put that aside and we will cut paper number 2. Paper number 2 is the one I was telling you that we need to have 5.5 inch strips. 5.5, and do that twice. Now, if you're going to use both sides of your paper, you'll take this one and cut it at 6 inches. Now, I'm not going to use this paper, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it whole in its 12-inch long form, and I'll bring in something else when we get to that point. Let's go ahead and assemble our pages. Okay, so like I said, I'm using this bold plaid print as my background. This is even loud and bold for me, but I'm gonna stick with it and see if I like it. I can always change it to another piece or go grab something else from my stash or even a piece of cardstock. But let's move forward and see what we can do. So I'm gonna first bring in the 5.5 inch pieces because that's the easiest. And I think this is gonna tone it down quite a bit. And then we bring in these pieces right here. And I really love this holly paper. So I'm going to make sure that that is the side up. But if you didn't want to, this would be your time. You can flip it over like this, but you have to make sure when you bring your punch in, you're also flipping it over as well. So this piece comes to the side of our big block. I do want to try one thing because my original thought was the back side of this paper. And I just want to see, before I adhere everything down, see which one I like better. Oopsie, I like this side. There we go. And then I would bring in the red bows and put them at the top here. That does kind of pop. Let's look at it over here. And I like it in both areas. So I do think I like the little stars. So I'm going to turn it over. I'm still not going to adhere everything down. I'm going to keep going forward here with my layout and see what to do at the end. I'm going to keep it like this because I think I prefer this a little bit better. And I'm going to now cut this in half. There we go. Put one right there. One right here. The bows are really cute. I like that a lot. And I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock, I think, to go right down here. So I decided the avocado cardstock would be my best choice. So I just went and grabbed a little scrap, and this is a 1 inch wide by 6 inches long. And it goes right down here at the bottom. So it looks like that. Yes, the bows pop a lot on that avocado paper. Okay, I am gonna pause here. I'm gonna get everything adhered down. You'll have to come back and see what I end up doing with this background piece. But I think, okay, so this is gonna come down to about 1.25 inches. And I'll do the same thing over here. So let me pause and get this adhered down, and I'll be right back. So what did I decide? I covered it up, so no peeking. And that is to use white. I just decided to go and pull some bright white instead of forcing it and using so many pattern papers on this layout. And the reason I decided to do that was because it was getting pretty wild and pretty loud. And I feel like sometimes with Christmas photos, there's always so much going on in the photos themselves that I just wanted to add the white paper around here just to give myself a little bit of a soft place for my eye to kind of rest around the edges. So I opted out of the pattern paper. I will gladly save those two pieces for something else. And for today, I'm going to use the bright white. So now for the photos, I'm going to bring this back in again. They have 6 photos going down the strip right here. These are horizontal photos, and these are cut 5 by 3.5. You could probably also put some 4x4s there as well. My photos happen to fit this orientation, so that's perfect. And then they have a 1 vertical 4x6 photo here, and over here they used a mat card with a little bit of journaling right there. So I am going to change this up whenever we have this. If you have extra photos, this is where I always sneak in one more extra photo. But if I didn't, it'd be a great place for a mat card. Okay, so let me put this away and show you what I have. This is Christmas morning 2012. So I have a picture of the tree. I've already trimmed these down to 4 by 3.5. It'll go like this, and then I have this 4 by 6 over here, but I did want to bring in a couple extra photos, so I'll be bringing in these 2 photos and putting them behind here in a peekaboo pocket. Okay, so that's going to be my photo layout. As far as mats, in the inspiration, they use that mat card over here. And I wanted to bring in a couple mat cards to kind of pop up these photos a little bit. So I'm going to put this one right here. It'll go like that. I like that because it brings in a little pop of red. And then over here, these photos in their peekaboo pocket will go right like that. Again, that green helps to pop up the photo. So that's going to be how I'm going to put my photos and my mats. Now let's talk about embellishing. In our example, they did an embellishment cluster right here. They did one right up here. And then they did one, about right here. This one I need to move because I do want to see all the presents. So I'm going to move it right up here. Another good spot would be right to the other side because I have a lot of open area. So I'm going to do put it over here and maybe scoop my photo in a little bit closer. And over here, same thing, I'm going to scoot it over a little bit closer, and then I'm going to bring this cluster down here. I have to remember this is a peekaboo pocket here, so, and tuck my embellishments under the mat if possible. But we're going to come back to that area because I want to try and sneak in my journaling over here as well. This one, I do like it right there. It's not hurting any of my photo, but I think I'm going to move it over here. A lot of empty, wasted space in this photo here. Not the greatest picture of our dog, but at least she's represented. But one thing that's not represented in these photos is myself. So this is my yearly reminder to tell you to please remember to turn the camera around and get some snapshots of either a selfie of yourself or ask somebody else to take photos of you so that you're not missing out in the album 12 years later like I am here. And while we're all thinking about that, I'd also like to take this opportunity to ask you to please click that like button. I enjoy doing these Keeping It Simple series. I know a lot of you always tell me how much you love it, but I want to spread this throughout YouTube so other people can come and join us in our Keeping It Simple series and getting our scrapbook pages done quickly but beautifully. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so what am I going to put on for my embellishments? Let's start up here. I went through the embellishments that came with the collection and I found this cute holly jolly little tag. I like that. I don't need to say a whole lot because with my title and my journaling, because this is going to speak for itself. So anything probably would have worked. Merry Christmas, but I liked the size of this one. So I'm going to put it over here. I am going to remove my circle. I am going to bring in an embellishment base here, but I'm going to need to look through my box because it really gets washed out in there. Popping it up on foam tape would help as well, but I do want to see if I can find something. I love this little journaling spot. I was really hoping to be able to use it right over here. Maybe what I'll do is, I thought it would be great right here. Bring this down and this up like that, even like over a little bit into the white. So I think what I'll do is I will attach this edge to the peekaboo pocket, do my journaling right there, and that will be my opening, my tab, or my tab to open the peekaboo pocket. Up here, I loved these little candy canes, so I'm going to put those up there. Again, I'm going to look for a little base to put these on. So let me pull out my box. So I'm going to be looking for some greens and red. Right here on top is a nice green one. Yeah, I'm not sure I want too much green. Probably want something else red or something over here. So let's see. Let's slide this one under here. Yeah, that makes the candy canes pop up a lot. In fact, I'm probably going to put this onto some foam tape. There we go. I am covering up a couple of my bows there, but that's okay. Okay, let's see if we can find something for here. I do like the gold because we have some gold now up here around our box. Oh, here's this one is gold shimmer. Not sure if you can see that. Let's try that one. Probably tuck it under, put that like that. Yes, I like that one a lot. Let me go ahead and get some foam tape for this. And there we go. Yeah, that one's, I like that one. Though let's just continue looking through here. I have red. I guess I don't need this one. I'm just wondering if I want to do like a double base, pop of little color right there. Maybe, but I'm not sure I like that red. Here's a red. Who else likes looking through little boxes like this? I love this little box. I just put random little things in here if I don't use them on other layouts, and I just constantly keep going through it. Let's try this one up here. Kind of like the double look. We can kind of do something like that, and then the candy canes right there on top, two little doilies. That's cute. I think that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come back over here because I have these little presents that I made on a previous video. In fact, I'll link that at the end of this video. All I did was cut little squares and put the little bow from the ribbon and bows. And I really liked these. Let's see. It's gonna take up a lot of my room, and I'm gonna have that peekaboo pocket there, so I don't think it's gonna work. Here's a little smaller one. No, I think I'll just keep it like that so that I can do my journaling there. Okay, let me go ahead and get all of this adhered down, and I'm gonna come back with a couple finishing touches, okay? Hold on. Okay, so here's my layout. I just wanna do a little bit of ink splattering around here on the beautiful white paper that I couldn't decide which background piece to use. I just wanna sprinkle a little bit of red shimmer around here and maybe up in this corner, and then maybe a little down at the bottom. So what I like to do, let me push this up as high as I can go, and I kind of want a little bit of a puddle, and then I take another tool and I just tap it, and there you go, you can see the splattering coming out. So I just want a little bit around here, maybe a little over here. Let's scoot it back down. If you need a little more, I just go back into that little puddle first. And then I'm gonna come up here. Like that. I'll hold this up so you can see it. It's just a little bit of a finishing touch. And then come up over here. If you're afraid to get too close to your photos, then I would say put another piece of scrap paper over your photos. I'm gonna come down here a little bit too. Don't be afraid of it. It's gonna look nice regardless of what, even if you got a big glob, which I lucked out and didn't, it would still look really nice. Let me show you what I had down here. So I had this little piece of scrap paper and I was just puddling it up on there. So make sure you get rid of that before you continue on, because I would end up putting my fingers in that or my elbow or something. Okay, so let me show you. It's just the ever so slight little bit of detail. Okay, that's that one. And then on this page, this is my peekaboo pocket here, but I put some right up here. And in person you can see it a lot better, and then I sprinkled it down here. So just a little bit of fun, a fun touch on that finishing touches, something different, and I like it. A few more finishing touches. I thought I would bring in some gems and a sticker or two. So what I ended up with is I ended up with my holly paper back here, and then a holly on that embellishment, and a holly over here on this embellishment. I wanted to come in here and grab one of the hollies off of the sticker sheet. Thought I would just tuck it in maybe underneath like that, just so I have a little bit of holly in each of my clusters. And then for my gems, I thought it would be cute over here on my journaling card. Sometimes I like to do this. I just put 3 in a row, and then up here I think I'll place one kind of off the cluster a little bit, and then another one kind of tucked like that. And I like the yellow gems because it kind of looks like the twinkling lights like we see on the tree. Now over here I might switch over to red, because I have that gold shimmer oval. So let's do some red. It'll look like little holly berries. In fact, I'm going to put 2 like that. Maybe let's see if we like a third one. Yeah, I like that there. Guess I'll put one more over here. Maybe like that, to kind of balance it out, since I have 3 in each of the other ones. Well, there you go. That is layout number 2 in our Keeping It Simple Christmas edition. Pretty easy using the project recipe and keeping our embellishment clusters on the minimal side. And I'll be back in a few days with video number 3. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. And don't forget to watch this video of Keeping It Simple number 1. And that video, if you want to see how to make the cute little present embellishments.